Government remains vigilant over flood consequences. Call to capitalize on G20 forum.
For us, Tanzania will invite G20 to consider Africa as a land of opportunity.
Good evening, I'm Teddy Mparinyanga. You can also follow us live via YouTube channel TBC Online and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and X pages at TBC Online. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa says the government will continue to assess the level of destruction of the infrastructures in the country that have been affected by the heavy rainfalls that continue to rain in various areas of the country. Prime Minister Majaliwa made the assurance when he visited the flood victims in the Chumbi Camp refugee district in the Coast region, where he assured the citizens that the government will continue to distribute humanitarian aid to all those affected.
Tumeleta chakula.
We have brought food aid here, and during such disasters, outbreak of diseases is common. So we have brought 20 doctors who will work closely with the doctors here in case of an outbreak occurs. We have also brought medical equipment along with different medication to help.
Furthermore, Prime Minister Majaliwa directs the leaders of various institutions that have arrived at the camps to ensure sufficient distribution of humanitarian and avoid words that may cause panic among citizens. Now, following various unforeseen natural disasters happening not only in the country but also worldwide, calling for all-time preparedness and concrete preventive measures by the government, we are joined by James Mbatia, who is a politician and also a disaster management expert by profession, talking to my colleague Kanki Magomole.
Welcome to TBC. We've witnessed different natural disasters across the globe, and now Tanzania, we've witnessed Hanang, parts of Mbeya, and now Rufiji. What is happening?
To be sincere, this is a global issue, I can say that, about climate action. But how are we ready for to prepare ourselves for this, or do we have enough public awareness of what is happening in the world today? Because the man-made disasters is about 96% of all disasters. It's only 4% of natural disasters. What happened in last December in Hanang is the same thing which is happening now in Mbeya, Kawetele, mountains of Kawetele. And what to do now? Now it's happening in Rufiji, in Dar es Salaam, everywhere. We have a lot of friends. We have El Nino and others. And we know in our country we have the longest sea. And the longest level of our sea is about 1,424 kilometers long. So the preparedness of if anything happens, we must use our knowledge. How can we get knowledge now? The knowledge we get from our experts. We have the experts of the disaster. I can say, if I can use a comfort language, because when you are in a disaster, you must come together, give good words or maybe soft words to the public, so that they can get awareness on how to prevent themselves, how to mitigate the incident or the issue itself, or how to get the awareness of how to rescue their lives and so forth. So the things and the quantity itself. And when we use our experts, now the leaders or the politicians, they can use the data from the experts to guide the public how we can manage this disaster. And for the time being, we can use our police force, because our police is there to make our country a good and better place for all of us to live. And they have infrastructure from top to the district level, to the wards level. If we're the so-called the unit of disaster in the Prime Minister's office, they can use the police, and the government give the police enough funds. The police, we can use them and if possible, even the other institutions which have the machinery, the religious institutions also. We can go to the grassroots, so we give education to our people.
Thank you so much, James Mbatia. Back to you, Teddy Mparanyanga.
Thank you, Kanki Magomole. And on to the next news. Tanzania has urged the African Union Commission, AUC, to maximize on the African Union's representative seat in the forum of the 20 largest economies in the world, G20, to address various challenges that hinder the development of the African countries, including debt crisis, diseases, low agricultural productivity, climate change, environmental degradation, and poor use of technology. The call has been given by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, Dr. Natu Mwamba, during the meeting of Ministers of Finance and Governors of Central Banks of African countries held on the sidelines of the IMF and World Bank spring meetings in Washington, D.C. in the United States, insisting that Tanzania views the opportunity as critical.
And this talks about trade and investment. I think trade and investment, for us, Tanzania, we invite G20 to consider Africa as a land of opportunity for trade and investment. We advocate for fair trade practices, access to markets, and also foreign direct investments in sectors that are crucial for economic diversification and growth, such as manufacturing, tourism, and also technology.
On the other hand, the governor of the Bank of Tanzania, BOT, Emmanuel Tutuba, says the step of the African Union to receive representation in the forum of the 20 largest economies in the world, G20, will boost the financial sector and urges the African countries to come up with a joint plan with broader interests of African countries.
Kuna umuhimu wa kuendelea kupenyeza agenda za Afrika.
It is important to continue to spread African agendas in international forums in order to acquire enough money to implement developmental projects. This will enable us to attain the Millennium Development Goals. Moreover, African countries should continue to stay united so that the debits can be more manageable. Tanzania is in a better situation, but many other countries have a burden of debits.
Na kuendelea kupata maendeleo zaidi.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. John Jingu, calls on monitoring and evaluation experts and those specialized in IT to ensure that correct statistics from the health sector are available in a timely manner to help deal with the health challenges facing the society. Dr. Jingu made the call in Arusha during a working session, insisting that the presence of reliable and timely statistics will help decision makers in the sector to make productive and correct decisions.
As M&E and ICT experts, our role here is to make sure that we have always accurate data. We have reliable and timely data. We make sure that we facilitate the availability of accurate, reliable, and timely data.
Dr. Charles Moses, who is the country representative of the World Health Organization, WHO, asserts that monitoring and evaluation is critical, and by collaborating with the ministry and development stakeholders, the process will increase efficiency in the provision of health services.
So M&E is very, very important. And those of us here who are handling M&E in the ministry, other ministry, in government, and with the development partners, we have a very, very important role to play. And as we aim, or we are aiming at achieving the SDGs.
The Tanzania Civil Aviation Authority, TCAA, in the country says aviation safety management in the country continues to improve from 37.8% to 67.3%, which in turn it boosts the air industry business by increasing the number of airlines that use Tanzanian airports. The remarks have been made by the Acting Director General of the authority, Daniel Malanga, during the visit of the Communications, Land and Energy Committee of the House of Representatives in Zanzibar, with the chairman of the committee, Yahya Rashid Abdallah, says that he'll continue to advise the government on entering the single African air transport market.
Na kinachofanyika sasa ili What is happening at the moment is raising the percentages from the 63% to higher percentages, as we have found professionals, especially pilots. The Commission currently witnesses positive changes that the government has invested on. The aim is to strengthen the airport, especially controlling the aviation security and dealing with the challenges in these areas.
Furthermore, the authority has recently installed radars that are capable of serving both inside and outside the country, but still faces the challenges of inadequate number of pilots and engineers in the aviation sector. And on to the next news, the Tanzania Port Authority in the country, TPA, has installed a new diesel fuel flow meter to measure more accurately and validate the diesel that arrives through the port of Dar es Salaam, an effort that will provide more precise data on the amount of diesel fuel entering the country. Rahema Swabili has more details.
Speaking during the installation process in Kigamboni, Dar es Salaam, a representative of the TPA Director General, Engineer Yona Malako, says the objective of the fuel flow meters installation is to help the Port of Dar es Salaam become more competitive and efficient in servicing fuel vessels that arrive at the port.
This facilities has shown a big advantage in terms of accuracy level, which complies with international standard. And also in terms of efficiency, which means the flow rate. Big flow rate allows ship turnaround time to be very short. Therefore, the waiting charges and other costs associated while saving the vessels are greatly reduced. That means, in so doing, the demurrage charges which have been incurred at past are reduced, and hence the final price of the fuel is also reduced.
On the other hand, the representative from the Petroleum Bulk Procurement Agency, Orlando Di Costa, has said that the plant will help fuel importers pay the precise amount of tax according to the level and fuel measured and verified, while the contractor from the BQ company explained that the Coriolis technology used in the plant has met the highest standards of verification of fuel test in the world.
By getting the correct product that we paid for, because in the past, as I said, it was being measured by dipping, which is prone to human error. Any human element there's always prone to error. Right now, this is Mtandao, it's Mtambo, a modern one, so we are confident that now with this one we will get the correct product and the right volumes and the right quantities that we have paid for.
The accuracy is high accuracy of Coriolis is very high accuracy, almost negligible. The error is negligible compared to other mechanical flow meter.
The plants make the Port of Dar es Salaam have a total of 24 fuel flow meters for measuring various fuels, including diesel, kerosene, petroleum, jet fuel, cooking oil and gas entering the country through the Port of Dar es Salaam. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Rehema Sababili, TBC News.
The Tanzania Tourist Board, TTB, has today received a large group of tourists from Oman who have arrived in the country hoping to visit various tourist attractions, especially those located in the Southern Highlands region. Speaking to TBC News, the head of communications department of the Tourist Board, Samuel Insuka, says their arrival testifies the impact of government's effort to promote tourism in the country.
We are happy to receive the guests from Oman. These guys are from the team Explorers from Oman. So we are taking them to southern part of Tanzania so that we can explore the southern part of Tanzania. These guys are the influencers from Oman. So we need to reach people from Oman. So with their presence in Tanzania, we are happy enough that they will take the content from Tanzania and send messages to those who are in Oman.
On the other hand, some of the tourists acknowledged to have been moved to visit Tanzania after watching the Tanzanian Royal Tour film and promised to be good ambassadors of the country's tourist attractions.
Tanzania, of course, is well known for its stunning landscapes and natural areas that people can see. It's a beautiful place. We are here, of course, to support Her Excellency's royal tour of exposing Tanzania in different places. Dream Team is here, of course, with all colleagues who are here, who are going to tour different areas of the country in order actually to showcase what Tanzania has got.
We are mainly to see the zoos, the resorts and what they call it, the wilds and the nature, to see the wildlife here, which attracts many people from the Gulf to come.
The trip has been coordinated by the Dream Team Institution, which for several years has been coordinating visits from tourists from Oman to visit various places in Tanzania. The Minister of Construction, Communications and Transport, Dr. Khalid Salum Mohammed, says the Africa Ferry Safety Seminar will make Tanzania become a champion in promoting the highest maritime safety standards, which is a crucial step for the prosperity of the blue economy. He made the remarks during the opening of the seminar earlier today, which is being held in Dar es Salaam, stressing that the seminar will involve speakers and panelists to examine various issues that directly has impact on safe maritime operations.
Ferry transport is quite important in our country. And ferry transport is associated with a lot of accidents and fatalities, death of people, injuries, and loss of property. So these people coming to Tanzania with vast experience, knowledge, will be able, to share with them through the interaction with our people here, with our staff, with our experts. We'll be able to interact and learn from our colleagues.
On the other hand, various stakeholders from international organizations attending the seminar promised to cooperate with Tanzania as part of creating an enabling environment for ferry safety as driving force for blue economy.
IMO is determined to work with governments to make sure they put in the regulatory frameworks that they need to have in place to make sure domestic ferries are very safe and can also contribute to the blue economy of countries in this region.
There's nothing more important than safety. And we can come here to learn and to talk and have a good exchange about how we all improve safety together. So we're coming to introduce ourselves to Africa. We have a few people that we already know from Africa, but we want to come and engage the African community in Tanzania and other places about how we all improve ferry safety together.
Africa Ferry Safety Seminar will be held for 2 days, where more than 150 representatives from various countries around the world will discuss more than 20 agendas on maritime safety standards and its impact to the continent's development. And now, before we wind up the local news tonight, let us now take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Up next is international news. And here is international news as compiled by Ramadan Mpenda and read by Faida Ngaga.
Heavy rains and flash floods have swept parts of the Gulf region, killing at least 18 people in Oman and causing travel disruption in the United Arab Emirates, UAE. In Oman, the death toll announced on Tuesday included at least 9 school children and their driver, whose vehicle was washed away by the flood waters in Samad Ashan on Sunday. The Oman National Committee for Emergency Management said rescue teams were still searching for 2 missing people. Residents were also urged to evacuate the shelters if they felt they were in danger or asked by authorities to do so. Meanwhile, heavy rainfall also lashed the neighboring UAE on Tuesday, flooding portions of major highways and leaving vehicles abandoned on roadways across Dubai. The rains began overnight, leaving massive ponds on streets as whipping winds disrupted flights at Dubai International Airport. Schools across the country largely shut before the storm, and government employees were working remotely if able. Former National Museums of Kenya Director General Mzalendo Kibunja was on Tuesday arraigned at the Mlimani Law Courts over alleged embezzlement of public funds amounting to 491 million Kenyan shillings. Kibunja, alongside 4 other individuals, were arraigned before Senior Principal Magistrate Victor Wakhumile, where they were charged with conspiracy to commit an offense of corruption, abuse of office, money laundering, acquisition of proceeds of crime, and financial misconduct, among other counts. Court documents indicate that between July 2016 and June 2022, within Nairobi City County in the Republic of Kenya, the accused conspired to embezzle the amount by arranging to fraudulently include on the payroll the names of persons claimed to be employees of the National Museums of Kenya. They all denied the charges and were released on a bond of 5 million Kenyan shillings each. The accused persons were further ordered not to interfere with witnesses and also deposit their traveling documents with the court. The case will be mentioned on June 2nd, 2024 for pre-trial. Senegal's customs authorities have intercepted a record-breaking haul of cocaine weighing over a ton. The official from the county said the drug hidden in packets and stashed in bags was found in a lorry in the town of Kidira near Mali's border. They said that haul marks the largest inland seizure of cocaine in Senegal. Such drug interceptions are becoming more frequent in Senegal, with a recent incident last November where the Navy seized 3 tons of cocaine from a ship off the coast. Senegal's strategic location makes it a key transit point for Latin American cartels trafficking drugs to Europe and beyond. The head of Israel's military said that the country would respond to Iran's weekend attack as several Western countries urged Israel to avoid an escalation of the conflict in the Middle East. Speaking at the Nevatim Air Base in southern Israel, the Israel's military chief of staff, Herzi Halevi, said his country would respond but did not provide details. Israelis awaited word on how Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu would respond to Iran's first ever direct attack as international pressure for restraint grew amid fears of an escalation of the conflict in the Middle East. However, Iran said it will respond to any action against its interests, added that the smallest action against Iranian interests will certainly be met with a severe, widespread, and painful response against any criminal.
That was international news. Sport news up next. And in sports news, the Tanzania Olympic Committee, TOC Vice President Henry Tandali, says he believes that the ongoing preparations for the Olympic competition 2024, expected to be held in France, will end the drought of medals. Speaking to TBC News in Dar es Salaam, Tandao says players are training hard to prepare for the tournament, aiming to compete and not participate and collect enough medals for Tanzania.
I think it's a big question. It's 101 question which you don't have a straight answer. Understand? We went to Birmingham, we got medals, but did we really get the medals because we prepared? Or was it because the competition was not that strong? There are so many questions in sport. It is fine. The preparation in Paris, the information we have, all is well. They were ready 1 month ago. I mean, teams could have gone. It's that ready. The games are a bit different from yesteryears in the sense that there's a balance, in gender balance between females and males.
The Olympic competition is scheduled to kick off in July this year in Paris, in France, and Tanzania is one of the countries participating in the tournament. Educational institutions in the country have been urged to organize sports activities in schools that promote tourism in the country so that children can be physically fit and foster patriotism by knowing their country. The Aga Khan Primary and Nursery School head teacher, Blandina Joel, told TBC News during the annual sports event of the school that her school organizes the sports events to educate students on tourist attractions in the country, as her word is supported by participating students.
I would like to ask all parents and everyone to give students or children opportunity to play and to engage in different sports, because they help them to develop different skills that help them to perform in their intellectual capacity.
And we really encourage children, not just in Aga Khan, but everywhere, to be active in physical activities and sports. It is very important because it helps them to build their talent. You never know about their tomorrow.
I think they should keep more sports like this. They should engage with other schools, and we should race with other schools.
Today was a very fun day for all of us because every student in the school got to participate. And not only the students, but even the teachers. It was very fun to participate in every sport. Me personally, I was the biggest cheerleader for my crew.
The teams participating in the Aga Khan Primary and Nursery School annual sports events had their names decorated with animal crafts and tourist attractions found in the country. That is sports news, and now before we conclude the news bulletin, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello dear viewers, welcome to the next 24 hours of the forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. My name is Margaret Masawe. Wind is expected to flow with a speed of 30 kilometers per hour over Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika, and Lake Nyasa, and 40 kilometers per hour over the entire coast. TMA is issuing an advisory of strong wind which reaches 40 kilometers per hour over the entire coast and large waves which reaches 2 meters. Therefore, precautionary measures have to be taken. Rainfall signals are still seen in many areas of the country, especially over the entire coast. And TMA is issuing an advisory of heavy precipitation in periods over a few areas of Tanga, Unguja and Pemba Isles, Dar es Salaam, Pwani, Mafia Island, Morogoro, Lindi, and Mtwara. Therefore, precautionary measures have to be taken. Tonight, we expect cloudy condition and thunder showers over the entire coast and Morogoro, while Lake Victoria Basin, western part of the country, are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over a few areas. Northeastern Highland, central part of the country, southwestern Highlands, and Ruvuma expected to feature partly cloudy condition, rain showers over a few areas. Tomorrow, we expect cloudy condition and thunder showers over the entire coast, including Morogoro and Ruvuma over some areas, and sun intervals, while Lake Victoria Basin, western part of the country, southwestern Highlands are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Central part of the country and northeastern Highlands are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, rain showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Now let us see the next 4 days of the forecast for some regions of the country. Tanzania Meteorological Authority, we thank you for watching us.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Do not miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Teddy Mparanyanga. Have a lovely, lovely night.
TBC1, ukweli na uhakika.